So let's start. First of all, we won a prize with this Barrix retail player, and we would like to give some away for people that really want to try it. You can also ask us anytime for your own free test. So the RetailPlayer platform consists of two separate things or combined things, and one is the web portal and one is the device. Today I'm Manuel, I'm marketing responsible, and Giacomo, our expert for the RetailPlayer. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them at the end. Just write them in the Q&A option. So here we go. That's the device. It's a small one. It's a robust little device, as you know it from Barrix, with metal. It has an Ethernet connector, a power connector barrel, a stereo audio jack, a reset button, power lights, and Sonic IP. It's drop and connect. It's ready to go. You will see it's very easy to install, and we look into that. But first, the features, just to get an overview. It's the lowest cost Barrix solution up to date. The portal is free. The device is recommended on $175 one time. Yes, it's high quality audio decoding. It has an advanced deep buffer management. It has failover links and local failover playlist as a backup. We will see that it's very easy. You can do that all on the platform. It's IPv6 capable, has secure connections, and theoretical 25 years of working from the electronic side. So, you know, our devices, they usually work quite long. So let's see how to install the RetailPlayer. It's fairly easy. So I talked to a new employee of us at Barrix, and I told him, hey, install this RetailPlayer and film yourself. You've probably seen him starting 2 months ago doing some videos for us. So he did a video and we checked that. I wrote like, yeah, it takes no more than 2 minutes to install it. And we see if he can do it. Yeah, you see the time already. He can do it. It's rather simple. He unpacks the device. There's a quick install guide as usual. The package with the MAC address, we need that very soon. Yeah, there's the MAC address. Now first, connect the power and the Ethernet and the loudspeaker. So wait a little for the device to start up. Meanwhile, you see he has the portal, the RetailPlayer portal open on his computer. Take a look at that in 1 minute, roughly. The Sonic IP. Now it's connected, and it automatically plays the Barrix radio. So there's always music. Now, Joan, he's called. He adds the device MAC address, chooses a channel, saves all of it. Yeah, and it changed channel. So that's the setup in 1 minute, 40 seconds. There could be more difficult setups if you're behind a firewall, but we try to make it as easy as possible. So let's look into this retail player management portal. As you know, it's free. All functions in there in this standard versions are free to use, and hosted by us. It's server-based, so remote, and a software in the cloud. There is an option to install it locally, although yeah, that's more work than needed. So that's the portal you see here, and it has home, it has some messages and setups of the user. That's important. Here you see all the devices that are already registered. You see the organization, the name of the device, the MAC address, the channel list, and the actual channel playing at the moment. If it's playing, the volume, if it's online or not, and the installed firmware. So you have the complete overview of your device. That's one organization. So let's simulate to add a new one. So what we do is we give it a name, we enter the MAC address that is on the back side of the device you've seen. We want the web config, Sonic IP, that's cool. Select the firmware, and yeah, it's our organization here, or we say, it's a sub-organization, it's our ice cream store chain, if you distribute to different places. So let's take the mix and the channel, the volume, that's fine. Okay, we're in Europe, and we say Sunday, this thing should, well, no, it should not play. It should not play at all. On Monday, it starts playing at 7. No, that's cool. All right. As soon as we would save that, we have all the status remotely asked from the device, and we can add a QR code. We check that. The QR code is for mobile control of channels and volume. You can just create one by giving it the name, and it will show us a QR code. Let's say test. Yeah. It won't show us because we have no valid MAC address entered. Okay, so this is the device list. It's all the devices in the field with the overview of what's happening at the moment. So what's happening is the channels. That's where you see your organization, the name, and the URL. We can also here define a new one. We say new channel. Our organization is the ice cream store chain. We have a URL, and we can also define a fallback URL. We define both, and we have a new channel. So now we want to distribute this channel. So we have channel lists. Channel lists are collections of multiple channels, and each device can have a channel list. So you can either say, yeah, I only want this one channel in for one of these retail players, or I have 5 different channels. You create a list and say, yeah, this device can have these 5 different channels. Easy enough. Now organizations, that's also, that could be quite handy to organize your retail places. So let's say we're this organization, that's you, your background music outlet, and you deliver some music to the fashion outlet, to the ice cream and store chain, and other places. And these ones are places. This one is a user, this is a list, and a device. So you always see, this user has only access to the ice cream store chain. the ice cream store chain listens to this playlist and has these two devices attached. So this user here actually only sees this level. He wouldn't be able to manage the fashion outlet. Although you can change that and say, okay, this user is like Peter Pan. He's on a Sylvan's organization, so he can manage everything and every device. Yeah, and then obviously there's also the users. That's me. You add a name and a password and can tell him what he can control and which organizations. That's the portal. I mean, that's all free. That's all it does. That's, I think, all you need for most of the installations. We come to that. So now let's see together this mobile app. This code here, you see, it's actually working. So if you open your camera on your phone, on your iPhone, or the QR code here reader on an Android phone, you can see a working RetailPlayer interface. That's the interface to change the channel and the volume locally for each device. That means it's very easy to just print out the QR code, put it on a box or on the wall, or hide it under the desk for the cashier. So whenever he thinks it's too loud or not loud enough, or he has the options to change the channels. So everyone has scanned, I hope. Okay, 1 second more. Good. Now, how does the solution look? How does it work? It's a quite easy diagram, let's say. It's the RetailPlayer portal. We have the remote management, what we've just seen. This is managed over the internet and can manage internet radio, shoutcast servers, icecast servers, and other streams. And this stream out to the RetailPlayer in the different locations. We have the mobile phone. It's controlling the RetailPlayer in location C at this with the QR code, very simply, all remote. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a simple setup, right? Simple to install. One option you could have if you don't want to use a paid subscription, you can use an in-stream rise of Barrix. That works for 100 RetailPlayer devices. Just a decoder that puts icecast stream and streams it to the RetailPlayers. Okay, local announcement. This is also a big question. Many people ask us how to do local announcement, and it's simple to do with the RetailPlayer because you put in a high priority part with RTP. This means you can use a talk station over IP. Barrix is very open. As you've seen, a lot of different streams from different services, also a lot of different talk stations. In this case, we used the Nanunsicom PS1 because we think it's a good one. And normally there's music playing from here to the RetailPlayer, but as soon as you press that button on the talk station, the PS1, it says, oh, there's something coming in, stops the music, plays the talk in almost real time. So far to this. So what's the plus and minuses of this solution? This RetailPlayer, I think it has a lot of pluses, especially the easy user player management. We've seen the platform. It's all in the cloud. Usually you don't have to configure anything. Otherwise, if you want to have it in-house, you can do that with our software and run it yourself. Just talk to us. The communication is encrypted to meet the demands of modern security, IT security. There's a robust firmware update. We created a dual boot technology to make sure the device gets the firmware loaded and cannot break. The functionality can be expandable if needed. Again, we have the developers here. They have like more than 10, I think 12 audio engineers that can do customization on a paid basis. There's also metadata support for special applications if you need that. But I have to say there's a minus or two, and this RetailPlayer is a stream decoder, so it requires a web connection. As it has a failover playlist, of course, and always plays some music if you define it. But it's not a store and play or store and forward solution where you program each song at each time. But you need a stream, you create your stream and stream that out. This stream needs to be generated externally using a service, or you can use a streamerize. So when is it applicable? When is it a good idea to use that RetailPlayer solution? When streaming is obviously an option, the network is reliable, the content does not vary. Well, you can create a dedicated stream per location, but well, yeah, you can do that. Reliability is a key because it has a failover playlist. I think it cannot break when doing an update. You can change the channels on site directly and define which channels they can choose or none. And yeah, with the Barrix customer development service, you can also do special requirements if needed. But we wanted to build this as a low cost, very simple solution that is hopefully in many cases plug and play, or at least very, very easy to set up. And so there's obviously places where you need more, or use cases. If you want different advertisements, if you want downloading of songs and announcements on a special schedule, if the network connection is not reliable enough for a stream, or you want to mix store and play with streaming, you want a map with hundreds of devices all distributed in the world. You have people doing that, or doing exact reports, or even advanced remote firmware updates. This, some probably know, is the Soundscape, the Xstreamer Soundscape player. There's a lot of options. I tell you this one because if you need more, Barrix has the background music experience and solution. And there's, I could tell you a lot of it. It's probably not needed. Scheduler for advertisement, special failover targets. There's all the locations and alerts you can define. That's the Soundscape solution. And just to prove that Barrix, that we're good in background music, customers rely on us. You probably know some of this, like Coop, you have maybe in your country as well. It's a big retailer in many European countries, McDonald's or Swarovski, and many others. Yes, that's already the end. I wanted to do this quick and it's simple to install. So that's most of it. But you probably have some questions. And if you have, write us in the chat or the Q&A section. We have Giacomo with us. He can answer all questions. And yes, feel free to write. I will give the word to Giacomo. Just let me check how to do that. Okay. Let's see how he is connected. I have to write him. So, one question. Okay, that's about I answered this until Giacomo is ready, because I know this. He's much more an expert than me. But that's how to configure it if it's not, if it's in a protected environment. So usually it's DHCP, so you plug it in, it works. But behind the firewall, you can configure your retail player with the web backend. You have here all the standard settings and select the static IP. So you can configure that device. Okay. Any more questions? Oh, it's so easy. No one wants to ask anything. Well, I think that's it. No more questions. If you have, or something comes up, if you want to test, or if you want a demo, write us at sales@barix.com. You can also write me at manuel@barix.com. If you want to talk to me, or if you have a very technical question, write at giacomo@barix.com. All right, thanks for joining. Have a good time. Bye.